Agency 2, Chapter 2. The following are fiduciary duties of an agent to the principal: loyalty and obedience, skill, care, and diligence, competency, disclosure and non-disclosure of information, or confidentiality, accounting. In this chapter, we will discuss the duties of an agent owed to the principal. As we mentioned in Agency 1, these duties are often referred to as fiduciary duties. While these duties are common to all types of agency relationships, many of them are further defined by real estate statutes. While we will address the duties according to the outline just presented, many textbooks present 6 duties as follows: care, obedience, loyalty, disclosure, accounting, and confidentiality. Loyalty and obedience. An agent must be completely loyal to the principal as far as the laws and the rules allow. Loyalty in this sense means the agent places the interest of the principal above all other interests, including their own. There is a conflict of interest inherent in the traditional commission structure between the principal and the agent. If a broker is compensated based on the purchase price of the property, the broker has an incentive to sell the home at the highest possible price. However, going as high as possible on the purchase price may not be in the best interest of the client. Real estate licensees must be aware of the potential conflict and guard to ensure the conflict does not play a role in the way an agent represents a client. Under the traditional MLS-based compensation model, sellers and their brokers are free to offer whatever commission they choose. One seller and their broker may choose a 4% commission, while another seller and their broker may only offer a 3% commission. It is in the buyer's broker's best interest if the buyer chooses the property which comes with the 4% commission over the property with the 3% commission. However, the best home for the buyer may be the one offering 3% commission. Again, brokers and sales agents must be aware of the conflict so that they may exclude it from the way in which they represent their clients. As we mentioned, the conflict is inherent in the traditional real estate model and usually cannot be avoided. However, licensees must consciously strive to represent the best interest of their client rather than the best financial interest of the broker or agent. If an agent has an interest in a property subject to a transaction, additional conflicts present themselves. Assuming a buyer is interested in 2 properties, one of the property is owned by the buyer's broker. First, the broker has a personal incentive for the buyer to choose their home. Second, during the negotiations, it would be very difficult for the broker to truly represent the interest of the buyer. All states require complete disclosure of any interest owed by a licensee in any property subject to a particular transaction. The principals to the transaction must be aware of the licensee's interest, so they may protect themselves against possible conflicts of interest. The second part of this agreement is obedience. An agent must obey the instructions of the principal as long as they are lawful and they do not instruct the agent to exclude a material disclosure. The first part of the requirement is fairly straightforward. A broker representing a client must follow the client's instructions, even if the broker does not agree with them. The broker may be uncomfortable fulfilling the client's instructions. However, as long as the instructions are legal, the broker and subsequently sales agents must comply with the client's instructions. Sometimes the instructions of the principal may seem or may actually be unethical according to the licensee's standard of ethics. Unfortunately, unless the instructions violate the law, they still must be followed. Licensees in their own actions and interactions with other licensees and clients should always maintain the highest standards of ethics. Unfortunately, clients are not bound by the same obligation. Fraud is considered illegal, and is not covered by the duty of loyalty and obedience. If a principal instructs an agent to commit fraud or participate in fraud, the licensee should not participate under any circumstances. We briefly mentioned disclosure, and we'll cover it in greater detail shortly. Remember, the standard of loyalty and obedience does not allow a licensee to withhold material information regarding a property from other interested parties. Assume a broker has a home listed. The seller tells the broker that the foundation is cracked and is leaking, but the seller does not want potential buyers to know of the problem, as it may discourage the buyers from purchasing the home. The seller is probably correct in assuming knowledge of the cracked foundation will deter many buyers.